The 1970s were a vibrant decade defined by disco beats, lava lamps, and countless unforgettable moments. Growing up in the 70s was truly one of a kind. No smartphones, no streaming services, just pure, unfiltered fun. From quirky gadgets to cultural trends, it was a simpler yet colorful time. Let's take a trip down memory lane and explore 17 things that only those who grew up in the 1970s can truly appreciate. If you remember these, you were part of something truly special. 1. Saturday morning cartoons. In the 1970s, Saturdays were sacred, not for chores or errands, but for cartoons. Kids would wake up early, bowl of sugary cereal in hand, to watch their favorite animated shows. Classics like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, The Flintstones, and Super Friends dominated TV screens.
In the great hall of the Justice League.
There was a magical feeling about those mornings. No streaming or DVR meant you had to catch the show live, or you'd miss it altogether. Networks curated these cartoon blocks specifically for children, creating a shared cultural experience that brought kids together. It wasn't just about the shows, it was the rituals surrounding them. The joy of plopping down on a shag carpet in your pajamas and tuning into hours of animated fun is a memory that defined childhood in the 70s. 2. Roller skating rinks. Before smartphones and TikTok, socializing meant lacing up your roller skates and heading to the local roller rink. These vibrant, disco-infused arenas were the ultimate hangout spots for teens and tweens alike. With flashing lights, a disco ball spinning overhead, and songs like Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees blaring through the speakers, roller rinks were pure magic. The experience wasn't just about skating. It was a whole culture. Kids showed off their moves during couples skates or backward skate, while others enjoyed arcade games or indulged in snacks at the concession stand. The roller rink was more than a pastime. It was a rite of passage. Loving this trip down memory lane? Don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgic content like this. 3. Tang and other space-age foods. Tang, the powdered orange drink, was a staple in 1970s households, especially because it was famously associated with NASA astronauts.
The trips are long. The training is hard, like this spacewalk practice. But the astronauts do some things you do. In space, they drank Tang. They mixed it like this in a zero-G pouch, because with no gravity, it would fly all over. You don't have that problem. You can mix it in a glass. Up there, they have to drink it carefully, this way. You can drink it any way you like. Tang tastes orangey. Tastes great. Has lots of vitamins C and A. Tang, chosen for the Gemini astronauts. Have a blast. Have some Tang.
Marketed as the drink of the future, kids felt like they were sipping on space-age innovation every time they drank it. It wasn't just Tang, freeze-dried ice cream, TV dinners, and other convenience foods brought a futuristic vibe to the kitchen. The microwave oven was becoming more common, and these space-inspired snacks were a reflection of the era's fascination with science and technology. Even today, hearing the word Tang is enough to transport many back to their childhood kitchens. 4. Listening to music on 8-track tapes. Before streaming services and MP3 players, the 8-track tape was the king of portable music in the 1970s. These chunky cartridges were a must-have for every music lover, offering albums from legendary artists like Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, and Led Zeppelin. The beauty of 8-tracks was their portability. You could listen to them at home or pop one into your car stereo for a road trip. While they lacked the convenience of modern playlists, there was something special about hearing an entire album in the exact order the artist intended. The sound of an 8-track clicking as it switched tracks is a distinct memory for anyone who grew up in the era. 5. Lava lamps. No 70s bedroom or living room was complete without a lava lamp. These mesmerizing devices weren't just decorations, they were a statement piece. Watching the blobs of wax float up and down in vibrant colored liquid was oddly soothing, almost hypnotic. Lava lamps symbolized the psychedelic culture of the decade, blending art, science, and funkiness into one glowing centerpiece. They were a must-have for kids and teens looking to add some groovy vibes to their personal spaces. 6. Drive-in theaters. The drive-in theater was more than just a way to watch movies. It was an event. Families would pack their cars with snacks, blankets, and lawn chairs to enjoy double features under the stars. Teens often saw drive-ins as the perfect date spot, where they could enjoy a film, or not, in the privacy of their cars. The 70s were the golden era of drive-ins, showing everything from blockbusters like Jaws to low-budget horror flicks. The communal aspect of watching a movie alongside dozens of other cars made it a uniquely shared experience that's hard to replicate today. 7. Pet rocks. In 1975, the pet rock craze swept the nation. It was a simple concept, a smooth rock sold as a pet in a small box with air holes. It might sound absurd now, but at the time, it was a marketing genius. Kids loved the idea of having a pet that required no care. No feeding, no walking, no messes. Pet rocks even came with a humorous instruction manual, making them a quirky and fun fad that defined the decade. 8. Polaroid cameras. In the 1970s, capturing a moment instantly was revolutionary, and Polaroid cameras made it possible. These instant cameras let you snap a photo and watch it develop right before your eyes in a matter of minutes. Polaroids were perfect for parties, family gatherings, or just capturing everyday moments. The excitement of shaking the photo to speed up the development process was part of the charm. They were a precursor to today's obsession with instant gratification in photography, and their retro aesthetic still holds appeal. 9. Wood paneling everywhere. Step into any 1970s home, and you were likely greeted by walls covered in wood paneling. This design trend was everywhere, from living rooms to basements, creating a warm, cozy vibe that defined the decade's interior style. While some found it charming, others saw it as overly dark or dated. Regardless, wood paneling became synonymous with the era and remains a nostalgic hallmark of 70s decor. 10. Schoolhouse Rock. Educational TV wasn't boring in the 70s, thanks to Schoolhouse Rock. This series of animated musical shorts taught kids everything from grammar to math with catchy tunes like Conjunction Junction and I'm Just a Bill. These short segments aired during commercial breaks on Saturday mornings, making learning fun and accessible. Decades later, the songs are still remembered by those who grew up singing along. 11. Tetherball. Tetherball was a playground staple in the 1970s. This simple game involved hitting a ball attached to a pole, trying to wind the rope around the pole in your favor. It was competitive, fun, and a great way to pass time during recess. The game's simplicity made it accessible to kids of all skill levels. Whether you played casually or took it seriously, tetherball holds a special place in the hearts of 70s kids. 12. Rotary phones. Before smartphones, there were rotary phones, bulky, wired devices that required you to physically turn a dial to make a call. The process of dialing a number was slow but oddly satisfying, with each click of the dial adding to the anticipation. Rotary phones were a central fixture in households, often placed in common areas like the kitchen or living room. The shared nature of the phone made conversations a family affair, a far cry from today's private texting culture. 13. Metal lunchboxes with cartoon characters. Kids in the 70s took their lunch to school in metal lunchboxes adorned with their favorite cartoon or TV characters. Whether it was Star Wars, the Brady Bunch, or the Flintstones, these lunchboxes were both functional and fashionable. Paired with a matching thermos, they were a badge of honor, showing off your personality and interests to classmates. These lunchboxes are now collector's items, cherished for the memories they hold. 14. TV sign-offs and test patterns. In the 1970s, television wasn't a 24/7 affair. At the end of the broadcasting day, networks would sign off with the national anthem or a patriotic montage, followed by a test pattern. This nightly ritual marked the end of the day for many families. The test pattern, often accompanied by a high-pitched tone, became an oddly nostalgic sight for those who grew up in the era. 15. Mood rings. Mood rings were the ultimate fashion statement in the 70s. These rings, which changed color based on body temperature, claimed to reveal your emotional state. While the science behind them was questionable, their appeal was undeniable. Everyone wanted to know if they were happy, blue, or anxious, yellow. Mood rings were a fun, interactive accessory that reflected the playful spirit of the decade. 16. The original Star Wars craze. When Star Wars premiered in 1977, it became an instant cultural phenomenon. Kids and adults alike were captivated by the galaxy far, far away, leading to a massive demand for action figures, posters, and other merchandise. The excitement surrounding Star Wars wasn't just about the movie, it was about the shared experience of seeing something so groundbreaking and imaginative. It's a defining moment for anyone who grew up in the late 70s. 17. Rubik's Cube. Invented in 1974, the Rubik's Cube became a worldwide sensation by the late 70s. This colorful puzzle challenged kids and adults to align all the squares, a task that required both patience and skill. Solving the Rubik's Cube was a badge of honor, making it more than just a toy. It was a cultural icon of the era. The 1970s were a decade like no other, filled with unique trends and experiences that shaped a generation. Whether you grew up watching Schoolhouse Rock or skating to disco hits, the memories from this era are priceless. Did we miss any of your favorite 70s moments? Share them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgic trips through time.